Alright, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this Invitational Season 6 League match between Terranigma is a Great Game and Oops All Foxes. Today we're going to have a good show. This is going to be Pilot Spoiler Mode, in which one of the teammates has spoiler log and is giving all of the information to the runners, and the runners just basically gotta do what they say. Our runners today are Selene representing Terranigma and Adalor representing Oops All Foxes. Overall start to the season for both teams. Terranigma sitting on 2 wins, Oops All Foxes sitting on 1. Could be a game that has long-term implications in terms of teams maybe getting relegated, so definitely a lot at stake here. So excited to see how this one plays out. Looks like we're going to be getting going here in just a minute. I didn't look up who the pilots are. Let me take a quick look and see. I think it is Recidador for Terranigma, and I believe it's Trey Spire for Oops All Foxes. I'm not entirely sure on that, but we will see. But yeah, this mode is a mode I personally dislike playing, but I think it's a really entertaining mode to watch in terms of just seeing what the pilots can put together. You get to see a lot of real quality execution battles because the matches are always very tight. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to this one. And we're going to be getting started here in just a minute. So I'm wondering what openings we're going to see from each team here. There's a couple of different philosophies, depending on how much lead time you think you need as a pilot. Usually, just heading straight into Kakariko seems to be kind of like the new meta for Invitational. It seems like what most teams are doing. But if you need a little bit of extra lead time, there's a couple of different philosophies, like taking Houlihan. It looks like we're getting a link start from both teams, so let's see where they're going. Alright, so it looks like both teams are on a Kakariko south to north start. Some advantages here, you're guaranteed bombs. You are at the mercy of the RNG gods in terms of what's going to come from those 2 bushes on the bottom left. And yeah, we see the lane immediately getting 2. And Adalor getting his 1. And going back for more. So the lane skipping race game, they know that there's nothing there, thanks to their pilot. Back of Tavern looks like it has something now. Ooh, yeah, that's gotta hurt. Adalor got it denied 4 times. He rolled 1 for 8. That hurts. That's really tough. So the lane skipping Chicken Hut, skipping Bottle Merchant. Looks like all the juice is in North Cac today. Nothing really at the top there. Let's see what the purpose for this is. We get a small key to Thieves Town, a sword, and a cape. Maybe an Agaseed? We'll see. Or maybe that's just giving us access to those first 2 chests in Castle Tower. Adalor going to be the leader into Blind's Hut here, so we'll see what they get out of this. So Adalor pulls the Fire Rod out of the top. Maybe nothing in these chests. Yeah, looks like there's nothing in these chests at the bottom, so Adalor is going to be picking up a little bit of time, skipping those 4 chests and all the block pushes. So I'm thinking about a save and quit there, but backing out. Maybe something in the Lost Woods that's needed. Adalor picking up a little bit more time in getting only the needed chests out of the well. Adalor also headed to Chicken Hut. This is pretty interesting. So, Terranigma determined that this was not needed. Or at the very least that you could come back for it later. Alright, so we get a small key to Swamp Palace. We are going to need that one. As you see, our tracker, Furious Magic, has put up the crystals and pendants from the spoiler log. We are not going to be getting a map check today because the runners don't need it. So all the info is displayed for you there. Looks like we're going to need Bombos and Quake as our medallions to get into Mire and Turtle Rock. Adalor are going to be picking up their Swamp Small Key, and then they will be immediately leaving and probably won't be getting that second 300 unless there's a Zora angle. You can see they're a little hesitant. If you're going to do this, just grab the 300. Oh. Yeah, the indecision's a little tough there. That's one of the toughest parts about this mode is coordinating trying to keep the legs pumping, keep things moving. While still executing at a high level. So Thelaine thought about skipping the Bombos, but then ended up coming back for it, and then gets the big key to Desert Palace. While Adalor grabs is doing Houlihan here, but we know there was a second 300 in that well drop down. Ooh, and does not execute the Houlihan. That hurts. So, especially because with 400 rupees, I assume you're not doing Houlihan unless you need money. And I'm starting to bet that there's a Zora angle involved here. As Thelaine pulls the Moon Pearl from Mini Moldorms, it's a nice little pickup. And a key to Skull Woods, which, while not needed to actually beat the game, tends to provide some nice routing when you get up there and keeps you from getting locked out, so definitely agree with picking that one up. And Adalor being guided to the money by his partner, knowing that the bush crab is going to be a source of 5s. So they should have the money now. They should know that there's a 50 inside Mini Moldorm Cave. But definitely understand this is always a really hectic time for the pilot. Just trying to piece all of this together. As we see Thelaine taking a water walk. And so this must be the Zora play, because we do not have tools to... we do not have tools to get the Zora Ledge item, which is just a red 20 anyway. Something that's underrated too, I see this going in chat, that yeah, extra money is good. Extra money is really good in this mode. You're going to be on low percent. At some point, you're probably going to pick up a bottle just as a safety. So making sure you have that extra money that usually you just incidentally have in the seed from opening chests. So that you can, buy potions or do the other things that you need to is a pretty nice thing for your runner to be able to have on low percent. And so now we're starting to see it unfold. So the Zora play early was necessary because you needed the big key to Eastern Palace, and now you see the lane headed that way. So this is probably going to be the next step towards our Dark World access. Adalor again low on hearts. This is gonna start to be really tough here in a minute, as Adalor already having taken an unnecessary death. Watch those fireballs. And spending a little extra time on that Houlihan room. You do not have a lot of room for error when everyone knows where all the items are. So, any kind of mistake here up in Zora's domain, getting them killed would be really, really detrimental to their chances. Especially as the boots appear in Eastern Palace in the Cannonball chest. So, that is compounding the struggle in not only, wasting a little bit of time, but also being behind the other team in terms of getting boots. So, alright, so let's see what's in this Eastern Palace big chest that they needed that big key first for. So we get a mushroom, and actually pick up the mushroom. Still early enough in the seed where that could be a just pick it up because you might need it. Okay. Alright, so getting a boss heart out of the big chest, not hugely necessary, but it is nice to have early on, and if you're coming to Eastern anyway, I totally see it. Grabbing a small key to Mire. A little difficult to see if that one's going to be needed. And the glove appears in Uncle's hut, so... Looks like Adalor might not be going after the boots right away. Which, can be fine as long as you can get to them in relatively short order and make some efficient checks along the way. And we're needing to go all the way to Big oh boy, there we see it. Okay, so the bow was hiding in Eastern all along. So now it all makes sense in terms of this route being very efficient, getting the Eastern Big Key first of all. That allows a full clear of this dungeon on first pass, which again starts to bring in some questions about the boots are there. It seems like it could have been significantly faster to get those couple of checks from Hyrule Castle using the boots. Okay, and now we've got Back of Escape incoming. As the lane is into the Armus Knights. And nothing but a compass on the Armus Knights, but a necessary crystal, and the hammer for Adalor. So now Adalor's got his Dark World access, and we'll see what their play is. This could be really efficient if we're just going to Eastern now, having left those boots. Oh, yeah. I mean, I was thinking that, you know, maybe this could be an angle where you get the mirror first and then end up looping in pod somehow. But it doesn't appear that that's the case. So the lane's going to be cleaning this up and is going to be doing it just a bit quicker than Adalor was able to. I assume they're going to go in and grab that hook shot as well. The lane hoping for something off that tree pole. I'm not exactly sure what. Maybe some money. We're only on 31. We're gonna need some per pod. Maybe dig game depending on the texture of the seed, but yeah. Boots just make all of these dark cross rooms just so much easier, and fire rod of course too. As Adalor picks up their boots, and is gonna be here a while finishing this dungeon. Lane getting their hook shot and then taking a death warp. So I'm wondering if there's something downstairs in either Zelda's cell or the boomerang chest. No, we're just leaving. Maybe we really want this tree pull. It's been hearts twice. It's looking like they're trying to do a tier 1. What are they hunting for here? I mean, it could be pod money, but there we go. Okay, so they were trying to activate a tier 3. Okay, that makes sense. Lane grabs the sanctuary chest, probably just a reflex. Alright, and so Lane, once they finish Back of Escape, is just going to have a clean lead because they'll be completely even. So however much time it takes Adalor to get from this point to beating the boss, that will be the lead time for Terranigma. It's about 1450, so let's just see, because it's a nice check-in point about 15 minutes into the seed. Ooh, Adalor, watch out. And, you know, I know this is Eastern, it's one of the first dungeons, but, like, there are some rooms here where... Oh, grabbing that second heart, that's good. You do have to make some close calls, like, you have to get pretty close to that Igor, these Cannonball Room can control you, you know. And so, good game knowledge on Adalor's part there, knowing that heart was there. As the lane picks up a shovel and a big key to pod, in addition to a small key to pod, I think from the NPC. It does look like the lane wants to go to pod right away. Alright, so Adalor is now holding the crystal. Once this crystal cutscene ends... Looks like a good 2 minutes and 40 seconds is the lead time. Or minute and 40 seconds, sorry. I can't do math. So let's see what's important in pod here. So the runners are going in with a big key and a small key, I think. As Adalor is going to turn in this mushroom right now, so we're going to get this payoff immediately. Okay, okay. So grabbing the mobility items, always a good call. So the lane's just not going to mess around with doing anything else in pod. I don't know if that means there's nothing else there, or if they're going to have to come back later with a couple more keys, but I guess we'll see. And so this is going to be good for the lane too, because they're not going to have to set up fake flipper to go get the flippers. They're just going to be able to flutes 2 right now. And Adalor is sitting still on 40 bucks, so if their plan is to go after this flute, I'm a little worried for them. That was small key to pod. And powder. Skipping the big key to pod, so it seems like we might not be going deeper in pod today. Terranigma and Tulane getting the Titan's mitts off a magic bat. So that powder, not just for safety today. So Adalor is going to be headed into the village of Outcasts along this way. And Tulane, sick of not having money, is going to pull this 300 out of Chicken Hut. Oof. And Adalor maybe just coming over here just to do Aero Game. And that's going to be it. Going back to Adalor's house, and looks like is going to be on the route to get that flute. Whereas the lane, it looks like went right up the mountain, not yet concerned with the flippers, which is fine. I mean, you're not going to need them on the mountain. It's just interesting to see how much that the teams were affected by skipping one of the 300s early in the game. So Adalor skipping the 300 in the Lost Woods, and the lane skipping the 300 in Chicken House, both having to pay back a little bit of extra time in doing and leaving those ones behind. So as if you the lane straight away into Village of Outcasts. I must have missed a sword somewhere, because the lane is now on Master, so as we see the lane looking like they kind of got stuck into the vanilla way of things of going toward that second chest and then realizing they didn't need it. Also realizing they don't need the third chest. As Adalor picks up their flute, and the lane picks up a bottle, which is a nice safety item. And that's all she wrote, because, well, we don't have the big key, we can't go any further, so... Oh, old man had the sword, thank you, chat. Lane gaining hook speed and is going to dash right out of here, and then is going to be headed up to the up to Skullwoods. And we do have a fire rod, so we can get to the back if we need to. Only 2 items back there, and this is not the safest of layouts. Now it's a little better. Alright, Delane picking up the key to Ganon's tower from Skullwoods, as Adalor is about to get their Titan's Mitt. Delane is continuing at least to the big key chest. Nope, looks like we're going all the way to the back, so something deep in this pendant Skullwoods is going to be necessary. You know, I know it's kind of a thing when runners use that flute repeatedly while waiting, which, I mean, I guess is just something you do, but I always wondered if the bird gets annoyed. It would definitely annoy me if I was a bird. Alright, so with that completely unnecessary aside done, Delane is cleaning up Skullwoods, looking like Moth is carrying some type of necessary item, or, and I haven't checked the spoiler log because I want to be surprised along with you guys, could this be a ped seed? We do not quite know, so so Delane here fighting 5-heart Moth. Moth being incredibly rude, not wanting to get off that top wall where he can't be damaged. Nice upward hammer hit, those are not easy. As Adalor is continuing the mountain up to Paradox Cave, we're going to see what's here. And that is our Quake Medallion on Mothula. Nice speed. Alright. So that Quake Medallion is going to be necessary for entry to Turtle Rock. And Adalor looks like they're grabbing just some safeties out of Paradox Cave. Nothing else so far. We still have potential for Spiral Cave, potential for some more Dark Death Mountain, as Delane's going to be turning in that mushroom to get flippers. We're going to go in through the Turtle Rock portal. It's looking like something here, probably at Hookshot Cave. Off the lane, it looks like is giving us next steps towards progression as they head into Ice Palace. Gotta watch out. Ooh. That was really, really tight with that Lionel Fireball. So we've got the cape and we've got half magic. And it's going to be our method of getting through this spike cave here. Ooh, almost a very good double bomb strat in Pengators. So we have a small key to Desert Palace. So logically required, and it looks like also actually required today. As Adalor takes a long time to get some safeties and a key to Turtle Rock. If that is the best that this seed has in terms of keys to Turtle Rock, that is not great. looks like Adalor is also going into Ice Palace. Looks like maybe they have not identified that there is an extra mail in Skullwoods, or that Skullwoods is even required yet. Though I imagine at this point the pilots are getting pretty close to having this one sussed out, and they've had enough time to have a couple of dungeon clears in front of them, and so there should have been enough lead time to mostly get this seed figured out in terms of where we're going next. And both teams opting to grab that Desert Palace small. As the lane gives us a rather slick hammer dash through this room, which is honestly pretty nice. I would have tried that one out. But also down to 0 bombs. Not relevant for the rest of this dungeon, but might want to consider a refill here soon. I think I saw that was the Big Key to Hera, which is also an interesting grab in that they have the hook shot. So unless the only thing that would be required for that is the Tower of Hera big chest upstairs. So there's got to be something there. The lane grabbing some safeties from this room makes a lot of sense. You're going to be doing a 5-heart cold stare fight here soon. You're on 2-hit KO, so and there is our mirror. So that's probably the last of the good mobility items. That's really helps to do efficient clears of areas. So and with that mirror, they can now access Desert, which they just got the items for us in. Solid route looks good. Adalor about to go get that mirror as well, as the lane is dropping into Cold Stare. Smartly using the Bombos Medallion. So that we can use Fire Rod shots on the body, on the eyeballs. Going with the hammer first while they're grouped. I also like that. That's a good idea. Alright, out of Fire Rod shots, so now the real fight begins. Just a couple more hits. Playing it safe with some slashes. Again, I'm always a proponent of the quickest fight is the one where you don't die, so. And nice small key to ice from Cold Stare. So Cold Stare was logically behind the Kate of Samaria today. I'm not sure what that implies on a spoiler seed, but we'll just leave that one alone. Oh, also this fight's going to be super safe for Adalor because of that their pilot smartly routing them to that half magic up on the mountain. So always good to be conscious of what your safeties are, or what safeties your runner might feel like they need. There's a lot of like needing to sync between your runner and your pilot that occurs in this mode that I always find pretty interesting. And Adalor having a much quicker Cold Stare fight due to that half magic and Fire Rod. But again, it cost some time to go up there and get that. There was nothing that was really necessary immediately on the mountain. So, right now they are behind that Skull Woods clear as well, which they will eventually need. whereas the lane is just missing the mountain checks that Adalor did. And the lane looking like they're heading to Swamp next, or both teams looking like they're heading to Swamp next. Right, so maybe a good time to start getting a picture of what we still need for Go mode. So we've got both. We know where both our medallions are. As the lane picks up the Tempered Sword, so that's a great safety to have in hand. Speed things up quite a bit. But yeah, so we have both medallions. We're going to need an Ice Rod and a Cane in order to beat Turtle Rock. We need at least 2 more Turtle Rock small keys. If there's something necessary in the lava chest, we'll need a 4th. And we need a Misery Mire big key. And I think that's all we're looking for, so we'll see where those items show up along the way. But chat bringing up that Adalor did not grab the Hera big key, so that's pretty interesting. I guess it was a little focused on Helene's Cold Stare fight and wasn't really... And there's Arcane in the back of Swamp. It's a nice location for it, it's right along the way. So we'll see if that has any implications, but if it does, with Oopsal Foxes already being a little bit behind, having to redip ice would essentially be a death sentence. That's the lane already into their Argus fight. So I think the teams are now hoping for getting that Misery Mire big key before making the flute to 6. Or maybe it's over there and they can just get it while they're doing all the stuff over in the Misery Mire area. Adalor picking up their cane on the way back towards Argus. The lane not immediately mirroring and fluting, so taking this hook speed somewhere. This is going to grant us the big bomb from having beaten Swamp Palace and Ice Palace. And so we have something at the Pyramid Ferry. And I'm also maybe wondering if that small key to Castle Tower might be relevant. It does open up one more check inside inside Aga Tower that they might be able to take a look at, so it could just be incidental. I mean, you needed to beat Cold Stare anyway, so I guess we'll see. And there's our Ice Rod inside Pyramid Ferry, so the lane is then now mirroring and headed into Uncle. What's in here? A small key to Mire. Okay. Oh, and Adalor is short on money yet again. How are we getting that? How are we going to be getting this money? It looks like it's going to be from tree poles. as Adalor is trying to set up a tier 1, which we know to be red rubies. I'm sorry, tier 3. Alright, nicely done. We got the 100 rupees required. As the lane is now showing us what that Desert Palace small key was for. So we got a full heart on the right side, taking us up to 6. And the big key to Turtle Rock. Interesting. When that big key popped, I was thinking that it was going to be the big key to Meyer. But it looks like that Meyer small key, Thelaine did intentionally go out of the way to grab. As it appears that Adalor has failed the bomb dupe. Oh, and after having gone out of the way for the money, that is just brutal. It's just, I mean, I'd hate to harp on it again, but missing that 300 has just been so costly. In addition to the fact that they were stalled in front of the drop down to the Lost Woods where that 300 was, and thinking about it for a little while, and then went to do a Houlihan, which failed. It ended up being very costly to skip that 300. As Thelaine now finishes up Desert Palace, and we'll see if they go into Meyer. As long as there's a big key available, makes sense. But if that big key is in Turtle Rock or somewhere else, they're gonna need to. They'll probably just leave. And away they go. Yeah, they are not going into Meyer now. As Adalor is now appropriately identified that they need to finish Skull Woods, again not mirroring to get that 300 that we know is in the Lost Woods dropdown. We see a big key up there on the rock. It does not look like that one is a necessary one. But the lane following into Spike Cave to grab the second Turtle Rock key. Looks like these might be the only real accessible ones. As Adalor is back towards Moth, going to grab that necessary Quake Medallion. Oh, and our tracker Furious Magic bringing up that they have skipped the GT Big Key, which is also in Skull Woods. So, looking like something they'll need to come back for. And I think they know there's a 300 there. I mean, like obviously, like in some sense, they know there's a 300 there because they have the spoiler log. Whether they're like actually cognizant of the fact there's a 300 there is another thing. But they did pause for a long time in the Lost Woods before saving and quitting. Nice fight there from Adalor, finishing up Moth. That Tempered Sword giving a nice time advantage back. And we'll see if they decide to go in for this GT Big Key. As the lane smartly filling up on magic. Again, lacking that half magic that Adalor has as a safety. So yeah, Adalor has now realized that they need to go back for that GT Big Key. Not a whole lot of time loss. Might have been a little bit worse if they had left the Skull Woods area or save and quit, but this isn't so bad. But also at this point, every second does matter. So to get more Ganon's Tower small keys, that's pretty interesting. Yeah, finally getting that 300 off the drop down. That cannot feel good, knowing how many money struggles that we've had this seed. And the lane looks like they are going to head into Turtle Rock, so I'm guessing that that third Turtle Rock small is just sitting in here somewhere, as it so frequently is. Alright, big key to Ganon's Tower received, and we'll see where Adalor is off to next. Oh, they're gonna be doing the big bomb. Okay, this makes sense. They're gonna need that ice rod before heading back up the mountain. And there is our third Turtle Rock small. So everything we need to beat this dungeon. All we need is a Misery Mire big key, and we are in. Oh, Thelane getting stuck with the cape and the door transition. That's a nasty one. You kind of get locked in like a glitch state where you're just continually walking, even with no inputs. And fortunately, if that ever happens to you, you just clear it up by switching back to the cape, reactivating it, and then that takes away the glitch state, and you can have full control of Link again. Thelane grabbing the big 20 off of Chain Chomps, probably just by muscle memory kicking in there. So Adalor is not only behind this Pyramid Fairy pickup, but also still needs to complete Desert Palace. So looking like a fairly significant lead here for Terranigma, as Thelane dances around trying to not get trying not to get turned into a bunny, but ends up failing and getting turned into a bunny anyway. So Adalor going to clean up Desert Palace as Thelane continues to push through Turtle Rock. If that Hera Big Key is relevant, we're going to see if it's relevant very soon here. And the only way it can be relevant, if I'm tracking everything right, is for it to contain the Mire Big. I guess it could also contain our other bow. It could contain silvers, which would be a nice pickup. Very little time lost to kill Freezors and open the big chest in Tower of Hera, as Adalor grabs their Turtle Rock Big Key. As we watch the Adalor clean up some things that Thelane has already cleaned up, and Thelane has hit a laser bridge. There we are. That is our Mire Big Key, and Thelane is officially in go mode. As I was about to say though, as we watch Adalor clean up Desert Palace, which Thelane has already done, now would be a good time to, if you haven't already, give the runners a follow. This is an extremely hard mode. The fact that they're doing it at all is very impressive, and good of them to be putting on a show for us today. So if you'd like, go ahead and give them a follow. Lane going for backdoor strats on Trinex. Adalor cleaning up. Looking like a 2-cycle here. Very nicely done by both runners. And so it looks like at the end of this, the lane is going to be a clean mountain climb and turtle rock ahead. So probably looking at about 5 minutes of lead time. So we'll see, with that in mind, what safeties they decide to pick up along the way. Seven Hearts Blue is a very comfortable Ganon fight. But, you know, if you're ahead, and you can push your advantage more to just make sure nothing catastrophic happens, it certainly doesn't hurt too. Oh, and chat, having taken a look at the spoiler log for me, it's letting us know that their fourth sword was on pedestal today, so that was definitely not being gotten. And the last Turtle Rock key was in left side swamp. So, yeah, that's probably still slower than Spike Cave, I'd imagine. Yeah, it has to be. I don't know if it's a huge difference, honestly, especially you know which chest there is. If it's the west chest, you don't even have to reset the pegs. Might not be too slow to grab. As Adalor is now entering Turtle Rock behind the lane, who's looking to pick up their 6th crystal in Misery Mire, and is then just going to be cleaning up Tower of Hera right before Ganon's Tower. Of course, with the Mire Big Key being here on the right side of Turtle Rock, really no way to avoid the mountain double dip. And Thelaine hitting the switch on the left side. So we're going to see what the payoff for this Mire small key is. And it is the silvers. Okay. So yeah, that was pretty smart. That was a pretty heads-up play. You know, probably not worth it to come to the right side, to go to the left side to hit the switch, to go back to the right side to get your silvers. But if you can get a Mire small key along the way, and then can just go left and right, not so bad. Adalor having to play a little careful with his chomps, but also correctly skipping the chest. And so I can't imagine that there's going to be any more chest pickups for the lane here. So it's looking like that Tower of Hera big key difference is not going to come into play, which is good. Lane navigating the Mire Dark Room skillfully. A little stuck on the door there, but that's okay. They're trying to activate Spooky. I feel like I'm not sure at what stage they lost their Spooky setup, but it wasn't active for the first room, so it must have, again, just been muscle memory trying to do it for the second room as well. As those silvers saving a lot of time on Vitreous here as well, so it's not just the Ganon fight where you gain time on the silvers, which is something to remember. And another bottle is the reward for Misery Mire completion. Lane picks up crystal number 6, going to be headed up the mountain soon. And looks like Adalor is a little off track here. Starting to get a little worried about this. It's really easy to take a lot of hits here. Smartly using the cape to avoid damage twice. And they are going to need to do part of Laser Bridge here, so one hit will be fatal. They do have that cape, so let's, I imagine they're just going to put it to good use here. Decided to take the safety door. I'm not so sure about this one. I mean, you have the cape, and you're going to get a full magic refill before Trinex, so, you know, why not? I guess we're potentially a little worried about dying to Trinex, but as the lane decides to take the Turtle Rock portal rather than the South portal, since it's already been open, pretty smart. Ooh. That bonk can be a deadly one. It can definitely be one where you get knocked back into that pokey and take 2 hearts, so. As the lane mirrors to get into Hera, this will be very, very quick. As the lane uses the hook speed strat to get into the Hera pot. I believe that's still the quickest method, though I've definitely become a fan of. Oh, and now we're actually seeing the Hera big chest. So it's a full heart. Okay, so nothing critical to the seed, but it is a little bit of extra safety, and the lane definitely has the lead time to go for it. So why not? Adalor picks up their crystal number 5, and now having everything that they need in order to beat the game, I just need to head over to Misery Mire next. Lane now has all 7 crystals and will be headed into Ganon's Tower. This is looking like a solid completion time for having to dip all 3 pendants, you know, having one sword in an inaccessible, rather rude place. Looking like probably just over an hour here will be the finish time for Lane and Terranigma. An hour kind of seems to be like the target time on a lot of these seeds, unless there's a lot of trolling going on with the seed. So, pretty much right on target. Lane's gonna head straight upstairs. Already got the big key. Already have all your small keys. Nothing needed in the basement. Adalor, the decent Mire 2 setup, but just missed the last Wizrobe, the one at the top. And yep, Adalor's going to be taking advantage of the same thing. Going left, just grabbing the key here. Hitting the switch so that they can go get those silvers. We'll see if they manage to maintain their spooky. Oh, and smartly grabbing the other key in order to enter this way. I like this quite a bit. And yeah, good question in chat about them being able to see each other. Yes, since it is a spoiler mode and their pilot has all the solutions to where everything is, runners and pilots alike are allowed to look at the restream and see where they are in relation to each other, which can definitely influence plays in terms of grabbing extra safeties or pushing a little bit more if you know you're behind. Lane just barely missing the one cycle on Landmo. Adalord not able to keep his spooky action glitch, so needing to shoot that switch, and then is going to again need to bottom this wall to get into the other room. Similar, so not able to pick up any time on the lane in Terranigma, unfortunately. Those red guards being very rude on that bridge. Adalor now able to freely powder, not something that you can do before Spooky or deactivates it, so. And that's quality routing. That's something that you'd love to see from your pilot. Cognizant of the fact that the lane is on 3 pieces of heart and can get a free refill on the way up Ganon's tower by just grabbing 1 chest. You love to see it. Adalor picking up their 6th crystal, still needing to complete Hera, but I mean this is 100% going to be Terranigma's game to lose. At this point, they're a full Ganon's tower and a mountain climb and a Tower of Hera completion ahead. Nice triple setup on Aga 2 there. Are we going to get the double triple? No, not quite. It wasn't even possible with the blue ball. And another blue ball, very rude. So we're going to have 3-1-1-1 as the Aga 2 cycle. As the lane just 1 Ganon fight away from clinching this out for Terranigma. As Adalor is going to be entering into Tower of Hera as the lane starts to work on Ganon. Nice 1 cycle. Nice. Oh, nope. Just didn't get all the slashes in. So, looks like it's going to be a 2-1 on Ganon phase 1 and 2. I feel like I could have said that better, but I'm really not sure how. Adalor just very, very quickly and cleanly getting through Tower of Hera. Just 1 more sword slash and 4 more silvers, and then we are on to GG's. So. Adalor getting their 7th crystal, about to head into Ganon's tower. Nice double there. That was pretty tight timing. Well, ooh, getting pretty close to Ganon on that last shot, but he pulls it off. Go ahead and get your GGs in chat for the lane and their pilot Recidador, and they will be finishing with a racetime.gg time of 1 hour, 1 minute, and 33 seconds. Excellent job to them. Definitely got to feel good coming out with a win on this one. And it looks like Adalor has forfeited, so hopefully we'll be able to get these guys in chat and kind of get their thoughts on the seed and where things went. And we are joined by Terranigma is a great game, runner Thelane, and pilot Recidador. GG's, guys.
GG's.
GG.
What do you all think of that one in terms of how it went for you? You know, compared to practice, and just what were your thoughts on the seed?
Yeah, I think that was one of the nicer ones that we've run. I mean, had to do a couple of out of the way things, but I mean the safety. I mean, was there. Like you didn't have to do too much in the pendants, and I didn't have to scramble in the middle like I did for S&T to figure out where to find all the crap keys that decided to hide things. So yeah.
That's definitely one of the tougher parts of this mode. And we are also joined now by runner Adalor and pilot Tracefire of Oopsel Foxes. GG's, guys.
Hello, GG's.
GG.
That was... That scene was kind of like... It was fine. On our early game was a travesty, though. The Houlihan didn't work, and I'm not sure why.
Yeah, I wasn't...
We tried.
I wasn't looking carefully enough to see what it was that caused that one to fail. It looked fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, the biggest story by far, and I know that you guys know this at this point, was missing that 300 in the Lost Woods.
Yeah. It would have saved everything.
I had in my head we were gonna Houlihan and be fine, and it was money. That was all the money we needed, and then suddenly we needed more money. And speaking of things that looked fine, we also lost another 100 on the bomb dupe.
I can only assume that my dash timing was just slightly off somehow, because I have no idea what went wrong there. It should just work. It's very consistent.
Yeah, so you did need to be very rich in this seed. I mean, you needed to pay off Zora, you needed to enter pod, you needed to pay for a bomb. I mean, if you had a little extra, buying a potion would have been pretty nice. But
yeah. I mean, I had 215 at the end there, but yeah, I was like,
It was funny. I was like, there's a 300 in Chicken Hut, and then I saw the one in Lost Woods, and we were like, nah, you can skip that. And then later on, we were just like, yeah, I definitely should have told you to get that.
Oh, hey, there's a 300 in Chicken Hut. Go get that.
Yeah, it was a little funny. Terranigma, you guys skipped the Chicken Hut one, and Foxes got it, and you guys got the Lost Woods one, and Foxes skipped that one. Like, you definitely both should have grabbed both, but I mean,
right.
It's early on. It's really difficult to ascertain whether you need that or not.
We ended up doing the awkward tier 3 tree pull outside of the castle for the extra money for Zora. So.
I did one of those outside of getting my first attempt at the big bomb. So I'm like, I'm short by like 70 some. I'll just do a tier 3 and then get the bomb, and that didn't work out because
that was
the dupe failed. I don't know why.
Yeah, I saw that. That was pretty good thinking, though.
Yeah, I mean, early on I asked Trey, like, what's our tier 3 pulls? And I go, his tier 3 is reds. I'm like, I'm going to use that later probably. Had a feeling. Turns out.
It was useful.
Yeah. We actually, and then he was like, should we get the money in Eastern? And I was like, no, we probably don't need to. And then it was like, yeah, we probably should.
Wait, is there money in Eastern? Hold on. Is there money in Eastern?
Yeah,
under
the back,
pods,
behind the big, behind the big key door. There's the 90 rupees.
Oh, the money room.
The room.
Yeah.
Oh, I never think about that unless I'm playing bingo.
Right.
Well, we thought about it, and then we discarded it, and then we were like, yeah, I probably should have done that too.
I mean, for the most part, if it was like, should I go slightly out of my way for money in this seed? The answer was yes. Yes, you definitely should go out of your way for money.
Basically.
Because then we had to figure out pod money real quick, and I can't remember what we did there, but
I was totally focused on Zora money because I didn't want to have to double dip into Eastern. I just wanted to go in there and get everything and not worry about it. So I wanted that big key. And so I wasn't even thinking about looking for other money at the time. No, man, I didn't.
But yeah, the route ended up, of course, looking pretty similar. One of the big differences outside of the money troubles, which I think just came back to bite you guys too much, was going into Eastern to get the boots first before doing Hyrule Castle stuff, and that I think slowed you guys down a little bit. Not hugely, but definitely enough to be significant.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out where to go in the dark blocks and stuff, and then I saw boots in the first distribution, and I was like, "Oh, go there." And then he was like, "Where's the big?" And there's a bow in there, and he's like, "Oh, where's the big key?" And it was like that. It kind of went from there because at
Mhm.
first I was just like focused on just go get those boots and the bow, and who cares? And then, but he asked me, and I worked that part out because I wasn't even thinking about the big key at that point.
Yeah, I think if I could see myself not noticing that big key for a bit if I was piloting this one.
Yeah, that was as soon as I saw, oh, there's a bow in Eastern, and the boots are there. Where's the big key?
Yeah,
Can we
I'm
not
looking.
double
I'm
book
looking
this?
for like boots and flute early, of course. I'm gonna see the boots and be like, okay, those are in Eastern. Maybe we go over there early, and then I don't know
And
if I'm necessarily checking how Eastern clearable is at that point.
I was going to send you there right away, and then I started looking for other things and noticed. I
Yeah.
kind of noticed the chain a little bit. But
Yeah, you don't really expect the bow and the Eastern Big Key to just be in Sphere Zero, just waiting for you,
Mm-hmm.
right.
And so
I mean, it's not really. It's that early sphere. It's locked behind the lamp, but
Yeah.
that's
logically.
yeah,
Maybe,
Sphere. I don't.
And the
I don't know
lamp is
Sphere as
stupid
much
in
as-
this one, so.
Oh, I actually didn't
Logic.
look at the spoiler. Where was it?
It was in
The
the back
lamp,
of pod.
it's in Pod Dark Maze, or not Dark Maze, Dark
Rupee basement.
Like
So
you
it's locked
basically
along
need
with
to
a-
get.
4 of those keys.
You either
along
needed
with
to
a
get.
Pod Small.
Yeah, you either needed to get one pod small or two pod smalls, or do a loop and get one.
Mhm.
And the pod smalls are not in good places. So
They
No.
are bad. They're so bad.
Burner was also next to the lamp, which would have made Spike Cave like a little less irritating. But yeah,
Yeah, I mean, we had Cape for that, and then Half Magic was on the mountain, so it just
yeah.
kind of worked out.
yeah, we did it without because it was kind of like awkward to go to get half magic and then go over to Spike Cave. It was like involved, and then go in to turn a rock, and it was like, yeah, because we were trying to do it all, make it smooth.
Our first trip up the mountain, we got the sword, and then I just went straight over to go get the male upgrade and half magic, because I wasn't sure how comfort. I wanted to make sure like when we went to ice, it wasn't going to be a rough time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I wanted the half magic for the fire rod. I wanted extra mail for the extra defense, and then while we're up there, I'm like, well, our third TR small is either Spike Cave or Left Side Swamp.
Which is obviously Spike
Yeah.
Cave. Yeah.
Yeah, we debated
So-
that a little bit too, but we ended up with Spike Cave, yeah.
Yeah, Spike Cave is just faster.
I guess if-
especially once we have Cape and the Cape and half magic.
I guess maybe there's some weird, like, changing up your mountain timing, doing one less trip and doing left side swamp and avoiding. I don't know. Maybe not. I'd have to look at this one and in my pilot brain and think if that's even possible.
Just out of
Yeah, it was
curiosity, was it West Chest or was it Big Key Chest?
It was West Chest.
I believe West. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, West
See,
Chest.
that makes it a little
the-
closer because you don't have to reset the pegs.
Yeah.
And then I had to double check that we didn't need that because the book is also on Left Side Swamp.
Oh jeez.
Yeah. Well, I made a joke because you could leave Swamp and get a heart container off of Bongos if you got the book. If you're over there
Right.
already.
Just a little extra, fluffing,
Yeah.
safety, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so relieved to be done with this mode. I'm guessing.
Yes.
I don't know. I kind of like this mode,
I-
but I also don't have to run it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, it's like I said earlier. Like I would have happily double piloted this week because once I started getting into piloting, I'm like, oh, I actually really enjoyed it a lot. It's a lot of like really, it's just a lot of upfront stress, but then it's like it's not so bad and it chills out and you're just kind of watching your partner run the game and you're hanging out. But yeah, Chloe's availability didn't work out this week, so Trina had to flip flop. But
Yeah.
I really like Pilot Spoiler. I think this is still my favorite week in League.
Oh really?
You know,
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm glad they
I'm looking
Yeah.
forward to Pilot Spoiler tournament coming around again, hopefully. And I think this year or that time around being better at it because of how much I've progressed as a pilot in general. So
Yeah.
I'm not huge on execution heavy modes myself, so I'm not a big spoiler fan. But I mean, the piloting side is fun. I just haven't done it in like 2 years.
Yeah, this for me personally, this is a mode that I just dread, like as a pilot or a runner. So
mhm.
I was pretty happy to be done with this week. But
Yeah.
But anyway, that brings us to 1 and X, 1 and 7 for Oops. For
Yeah.
yourself.
Yeah.
3 and 5 for Terranigma. So definitely got some.
We got
work
3 more
on.
weeks.
It's a rough division.
This division sucks. I mean, every division in Invitational sucks, but the one you're in when you're on the bottom of it especially sucks. Yeah. We're still having fun, but it's just like, man, if we could have had. I mean, at least we've got like one more friend group matchup coming up in week 6.
Week 6.
Yeah.
Oh baby.
It'll be a lot of fun.
I'm so
bread and butter,
excited.
yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, it's not mystery, but you know, we can't have all of the nice things.
Mystery Week in League win.
Oh please.
Maybe. But yeah, so both teams having their work cut out in the next couple of weeks. I think that's going to be it. Any closing thoughts?
Thanks,
GG, guys.
Thanks for the GG's guys. Thanks for the restream. Thanks for putting this on. We always appreciate being able to show off what we can do.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, if you enjoyed this race, coming up, we have. There are many races today. So, what is coming next? I see like 8 happening nows. We have currently Amish Paradise, and don't forget to track us over on SpeedGaming 5 currently. We have another invitational match on SpeedGaming 5, so that looks like the place to be. So
yeah.
So again, thank you all for putting on a good race. GG's, good luck in your future games. That's gonna be it for today. Thanks for tuning in, and hopefully we continue a good weekend of Rando. So take care, have a good one.